game. So I want to talk about the heavyweight, the Fab Four, or the circus, which is Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua. The four heavyweights at the moment, the heavyweight division has been held up because of four people that want to make a lot of money. And I get it. Like, who wouldn't want to see Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk? Who doesn't want to see that? Me personally, I would rather see Joshua fight Fury and Wilder fight Usyk. I would rather see that. Why? Well, because I don't think, I think, strangely saying this, I actually think that Joshua's got a better chance of beating Fury than he does Wilder. Why do I say that? Because Wilder is just, he's got one punch knockout power, which is scary. And he's just such a more intimidating figure. And of course, Joshua's more familiar with Tyson Fury. Both Brits. Psychologically, you kind of feel more at home. But with the Wilder one, quite literally, it's a totally different animal. Really, literally. So I'd rather Joshua face Fury. That's for the world title. And then Usyk fight Wilder. Yeah. And then if Tyson really doesn't want to fight Usyk, at least if he fights Wilder, at some point Wilder's going to catch Usyk. It's whether Usyk can get out of the way of the shots. I think it's a difficult fight for Usyk to get through. So even if he gets through that fight, Wilder's going to lay hands on Usyk. So, something like taking out Usyk. So I would have gone that way. But anyway, let's talk about this a bit. So none of these guys actually have contracts for actual fights in Saudi Arabia yet. Okay? So it's all talk. We know that Usyk has been signed by a skills challenge in Saudi Arabia. It's brilliant. But his next fight is going to be in Poland against Daniel Dubois. Straight up, Daniel Dubois is going to get smashed to bits because, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he's got Don Charles in his corner, and I thought Don Charles would be a better trainer than Shane McGuigan for him. I said it a long time ago that Dubois needs a father figure type mentor for him. He needs somebody who's going to really wrap him up in cotton wool and be his customizer, be his Ben Parker for Peter Parker, be his, I don't know, Rocky's trainer. He needs someone who's going to be a big character and a figure that he can look up to. That's what Danny Dubois needs. Mentally, I don't think he's very strong. And I think that he's too flat-footed. He's too basic. And that style, he's going to have to land on Usyk. And Usyk's not going to be there. And by the time Daniel tries to throw a punch, he's going to get hit with punches left and right. The first big left hand that hits him on the button, he's not going to want to know anymore. I'm telling you now, he's not going to want to know. It's all right throwing punches at somebody, but you look at the left Kevin Larrea fight. If Kevin Larrea can do what he did to you, and he's not as fast as Usyk, he's not technically as good as Usyk. He doesn't throw the sort of combinations that Usyk does. And he's not a blown up cruiserweight or light heavyweight. Do you understand? Because of those factors, I just don't see Dubois doing anything. It will also, you see, the foundation starts with the feet, not the hands. So he's going to be moving those feet around. And unless Usyk has significantly slowed down, I think before Daniel gets into position to land his shots, there's a problem. And if Usyk, not if, it's when Usyk starts to push Dubois back, it's problems. So I don't see Dubois doing anything in that fight apart from looking for a way out. And I don't see him, although Frank Warren says he's going to knock him out. Frank's got to try and sell that fight, but I don't see it happening. In the time being, as for Alexander Usyk now, this guy it's better he didn't say anything there. He told Tyson Fury, called Tyson Fury belly. And in his Twitter feed, he said, belly, talk about you want money, but it's about legacy. I'll fight you for free. He said that on one mouth, right? And then they said they walked away from the fight. And now my man's just signed with Saudi Arabia. So who is looking for the money now? Mr. Usyk. So that's another clown right there. Sorry, but you might be a great fighter, but when you make schoolboy errors like that, you're not covering your back. You're not doing yourself any favors. You accuse Fury of being a man that's chasing money down. Who's the one who goes to Saudis with the Saudis? Why don't you stay where you are if you're fighting for free? So that's another one. So put Usyk to one side. Joshua. Let's talk about him. Joshua talking about fighting. First he's saying, I don't know where that rumor came from. I'm fighting Dillian White. Don't know where nobody consulted me about that. But we know that Dillian White is up next. And why are you fighting Dillian White? So it's just a pointless fight. So okay, you knocked Dillian White out, but Tyson Fury already did it. Fury's the WBC heavyweight champion. As of yet, you haven't got a contract. There's a contract for you to fight Wilder in December. So why would you fight? Why would you wait for December to fight Wilder in a cash out, unless you want to be cashed out? Unless you say you want to be a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, then you can fight Fury. Get the fight done in September, fight Fury. You're in the gym at the moment, fight Fury. You've got a better chance of beating Fury than you do Wilder. And if you do well against Fury, who knows, you can go and fight Wilder afterwards. Because Wilder's been beaten by Fury, so there's no shame in that. But the fact of the matter, people know that Joshua has said it. He's after the money. So he's not in it for the glory. So he's not in it for the belts. So I don't know why people still run after, Josh wants to be 3-time champion of the world. That's by the by. The man's just in it for money. I told you that before the second Usyk fight. He's in it for money. And I get it. You're a prize fighter. You're in it for money. And, that's what you should be in it for. But, the whole thing about you being a sportsman and athlete, want to be the best in the world and just let people know where you're at. So for me, the Dillian White fight makes no sense. And if the Dillian White does catch and shoot with a lazy Joshua, or Joshua's heart is not in it, he can knock Joshua over, and that's dangerous right there. So why would you fight Dillian White? Why would you give Dillian White the chance to open the door and potentially derail you from fighting Tyson Fury in September or Deontay Wilder in December? The only one there that makes sense is Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder, now, the way you look at it, Deontay Wilder was going to find Usyk. That fight fell through. And then, so the Joshua fight is a fight that everybody wants to see. And I believe he will go through that fight with Joshua. But, while Joshua's fanning around, changing trainers, Wilder's been sharpening up his tools for that Joshua fight. I would not want to be anti-Joshua, honestly. I really wouldn't. But I do believe if Joshua can push Wilder back with his jab, he can push Wilder back, force him onto the back foot, and land the overhand right, he's got half a chance. But if he allows Wilder to come out like he did first round against Brazil, there's some problems right there for Joshua. And then for Mr. Fury. So he can't find you. So Andy Ruiz is at the question. Wilder's going to fight Joshua. That's what he's got his eyes on. And that fight's been signed for December. So Joshua, it would end up being mandatory. But Joshua wants to fight Dillian White, although the fight's not been signed and agreed yet. So you'd rather fight Dillian White, a man that Tyson Fury beat, than fight for the heavyweight championship of the world and take a chance and almost get yourself beat by Dillian White. That's not smart. That's not smart at all. As for Tyson Fury, you could end up fighting Frank Sanchez if Joshua does not take the fight. And Frank Sanchez will be a difficult fight for Fury. I rate Frank Sanchez. I think he's going to be the next heavyweight champion of the world. I've said it for a while now. We'll see. We'll see. So that's the way I'm sick of hearing what Fury's got to say. Um, he's talking about mental health, but I said before he's abusing other people. I don't want to hear no more from Fury. Do you understand? All I want to know is that he's got his fight signed next, and it's against somebody who is reputable. That's all I care about. Somebody reputable. But Fury's become a he hated Klitschko because Klitschko made the heavyweight division boring, right? And he's making the heavyweight division dull. Well, I'm afraid to say Tyson Fury is becoming just that. Not fighting regular. Then he's fighting, well, apart from the Wilder fights, who's he fought? Chisora, Dillian White, Pianetta, what's his name? Tom Schwartz. What's the other guy's name? What's this guy again? The left-handed southpaw guy. I can see him now, but anyway, that's southpaw guy as well. That's it. And see Sam. I mean, one thing to say about Klitschko, he was fighting regularly. For anyone who's put in front of him, more or less. But Fury's done more talking than anything, and from being a guy that people want to see, he's turning a lot of people off. So, no, I'm not interested. I just want to see Fury fight. Like I say, he does more talking than he does fighting these days, and he's become actually what he hated. He's become the Klitschko of this era, sadly. And so no, somebody's going to want to knock his block off. That's what it is, and relieve us all this nonsense because it's terrible. Side note: Sonny Edwards. Talk about him. See him being roadman against his next Mexican opponent. He wants to watch his step because he's not fighting with anybody else now but Matchroom. And any given night you fight with Matchroom, you can get yourself knocked out. So Sonny Edwards better watch himself. You better watch himself because Matchroom are not matchmakers. They're money makers. Always remember that. Jack Cattrall signed with them now. Matchroom are not matchmakers. They are money makers. Always remember that. So I hope the heavyweight division sorts itself out soon. But all these people are waiting around. The only person who's got a contract at the moment is Alexander Usyk, and he's not even fighting in Saudi Arabia. He's going to fight in Poland next. So that tells you all you need to know, really, isn't it? So, all right, those are my thoughts there about the heavyweight division. Nothing exciting, but it is what it is. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm out. Peace.